And therefore, in the very first session of Parliament when this government was formed, while explaining the philosophy of the government, I had clearly said that I have never seen a contradiction between being pro-business and pro-poor. It's not a choice between two alternatives. Because if you get into the mistake of a choice between these two alternatives, then in order to demonstrate yourself as pro-poor, something like what Mrs. Indira Gandhi did in 1971, is you don't concentrate on productivity. India's industrial production didn't pick up. India's agricultural production didn't pick up. Our inflation under Mrs. Gandhi was as high as 28% during the emergency. But then by just saying, let's redistribute the existing resources and concentrate on that, we didn't help the Indian economy. And that's why 1970s is what I always regard as the wasted decade of Indian economy. Probably 1980 was. To a lesser extent, the last one decade was. And therefore, in order to make sure that the governments, through its business-friendly approach, are able to improve upon the developmental indexes, increase economic activity, which is probably the best solution to reducing poverty, and then allow the benefits of that growth process not merely to percolate down to the poor people, but use the enrichment of the state for poverty alleviation schemes. And it's with that philosophy, and that's when I said that reforms must be accompanied with prudent politics, that rather than just distribute some money or remove the bank loans during the election year, a measure which will never help the economy in the long run, we've come out with sustainable social security programs. And I can tell you some of those programs are going to be highly and extremely popular. Our financial inclusion program is probably the largest ever in the world. In a period of 3 months, we were able to bring in that 42% of India which was outside the banking system substantially into the banking system. 155 million accounts were opened. Our Mudra Bank initiative, in fact, job creation in India is not by big industry. It's the medium, the small and the micro units which have created, and there are 57 million of them, 5 crore 77 lakh small units which have created 110 million jobs, 11 crore jobs in India. And therefore, these are unfunded segments of the Indian economy. It is this unfunded which had to be funded, so we've created the agency, the Mudra agency, which will now become a Mudra Bank, whose principal job will be that these small and micro level businesses in India have to be supported, because that's where the job creation is coming up. That's a part of our social commitment. And we are using the economic policy towards that commitment.